reasons. So I know why I'm doing it, so I'm going to stop doing. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have, yeah.
But I do think there's this rising tide that's lifting every single boat in the water, and whether we like it or not, whether we want it or not, whether we welcome it or not, whether we,
Yeah, sure.
it's inevitable, So,
Yes. Well,
like you say, that we're in the tiger's mouth, so there's no
yes.
place. There's only one direction in that thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We've been in there a long time. Good to know.
Incubating
It's
or
good
something.
to know it. You don't have to prepare any dinners when you're the dinner. It's pretty good. I don't need do I have a grocery list? Don't worry about it. Those days are
Yeah, your dinner will be very short. Don't worry
yeah,
about
I'm hoping there's a dessert coming. Well,
it. Don't count on it.
don't want to break the news to you. No. Well, it's a dreary day in Northern Cal. Yeah, yeah, it's which I like. It gets a muffled uh it's like a muffled silence, if you could muffle silence. Yeah, it has a very interesting feel. It's like our first rain, really, this last yesterday and today. Fall is has though the leaves are still on everything here.
The
The
surf has officially arrived.
Hmm?
The surf has officially arrived.
The surf, yes. Yep. Yeah. Don't let I've been retired from that. Life retired me. No, I
Yeah, I
swim.
caught a wave for you the other day. I remember you said I should remember you catching a wave when I was catching a wave, and I did. It was quite
Oh,
good.
oh, that's nice. That's very good. Yeah. Yeah. I get to swim in a lagoon around here, which is nice, very nice. But I think my 2 to 4 would be the most I could deal with on a calm day. Probably now. You got to be in a certain condition once you're out of it. Like if you've been putting on a wetsuit for years and then you haven't put it on for a while, it really sucks putting on a wetsuit.
Yeah, it's if you stop, especially at 50, if you stop for maybe a month to get back in the water, it's just such an effort.
Yes, yeah. Well, I went to 62, which was pretty good. And then, but yeah, it's an effort, yes. Well, all right. Well, we'll give it one more minute. Welcome everybody. Anyone have anything, any topic we want to talk about today or stuff? Any like if
Talk about, hey Paul, do you want to talk about how everything you tell us is going to come, is happened, is going to happen, or whatever
yeah,
comes true? Like everything that you've talked about, your experience or whatever life, the message has to bring, it all comes true and can be recognized as it's happening here. And it's amazing. And I went on a 5 day trip to Mexico, and I was there to be of service the entire 5 days. And so I came home absolutely elated and filled to overflowing with joy and gratitude because all I was there to do was, like you say, be there, be present, show myself, and see what I could do if anybody needed help.
yeah, great, yes. Well, let's say in like recovery, as an example, because there's a lot of us suffering from the same uh, condition, yes? So when there's relief from the condition, you can sort of feel certain that how the relief from the condition occurred in you, or like its span, how it went, you can be pretty confident that other people, when they're going through the same process, are going to go through it in a similar manner. Yeah. So like in AA, there's a 5-year thing and all this stuff. Yes. And why is that? Because there's no uniqueness in any of it. Yeah. So if you've lived under a trajectory and then that's finally described, then when you get relief from that trajectory, that can also be described. It's going to affect the action figure and stuff. So basically, when I watch people come in and they're really super frustrated and stuff, I think that's great. Yeah. And then if they say a certain thing, I'll just go right to service. So if because it's not true that they're up the ass of self, but they're believing it's true. And for believing it's true, it's best to say service instead of you're not up the ass of self. It just, yeah, because doing the service will prove the point. Yeah. Getting involved in it. So you've watched, I've been witness to thousands of people, or witnessing of thousands of people that I've shared satsang with over the years. You get to see the opposite trajectory. Yeah. Yeah. And so like when I was younger in it, uh, people would call me and they wanted to wake up, and then after they woke up, supposedly they wanted to give it back. It was flipping them out. Yeah. Because it wasn't like they thought it was going to be like. So then I would say to them, well, just don't act out, which means for us, get loaded, and don't die, and it's going to get good. That's all you got to do. Don't act out and don't die. Yeah. Yeah. Because the operating table is rather large. All your rolling around doesn't take you off the operating table. Just like being in the tiger's mouth, it does nothing that you think is going on is taking you out of the tiger's mouth. Yeah. So the operating table is quite large. And when you'll go, I'm off the table, but you're not off the table. You're sort of never off the table. Yeah. Yeah. And then you see you're not that which was on the table. Yeah. So you just go through stuff and yeah. So that's why. So I just same, in recovery. At first, because you're so indulged in that, we're saturated with this idea of self. When we hear self can't get out of self, it sounds like it's us. I can't get out of self. No, it's self can't get out of self. And there's an act of being identified as self that is trying to get out of self. You're just the audience watching the whole thing. Yeah. So the message self can't get out of self is not to self, it's to us. Yeah. It's to us. So then we can see it's constantly, I saw it, you could see it when first you did one thing and then like first I drank and used, and then I used spirituality, and then that didn't work, back to drinking and using, and then this, and it never got it. It just would pull back and ram into the wall again, thinking the wall was going to be different because the vehicle you took to hit the wall was different. Yeah, you were using Kabbalah or instead of Buddhism, you know what I mean? Zen instead of Hinayana. But the wall is the wall. It doesn't matter what vehicle you use, you're going to run into the wall. Yeah. Now, this is great for us, but it's not for self, because self can't get out of self. It cannot, it doesn't grok. Yeah. It doesn't learn. It just figures I can get through the wall with a different vehicle. Yeah. And then there it does it. Yeah. So this is a great teaching so that the wall isn't it's uh, the fact that you're never going to get over the wall, yeah, is incredible. Yeah. The fact that you and I are never going to get it is incredible. You don't know how many little mental embers are put out with that. Yeah. These little, like, little squeaky little seeking things go out. Yeah. When you have that day, like I had it in a lot of ways. I didn't have it, it had me, it came over me. I remember I was in a satsang in India. It didn't matter, but that's where it was. And the person was talking about the futility, and it got it. Yeah, something happened, and I realized I was never going to ask another question because yeah, it's about the questioner. Yes, yeah. So these things just were going on, and then something would come to a halt. And some of the things that came to a halt never restarted. Yeah. Like uh, the futility of seeking didn't get a second breath by self thinking it was going to use a different vehicle. It had it. Yeah. It didn't matter because there's 30 different things you could synthesize and hybrid. You can put like tantric yoga with something else or fasting with hyperventilating. And then, yeah, with hoping if I keep rolling the dice, one of them's going to work. Yeah. That's can be over completely. Yeah. And the weirdest thing was when I realized I'm completely in Novato, I was free of Novato. Yeah, where I live. When I realize I'm completely here, uh, it was just new to me. It happened a while ago, and my head was listening to the satsang as it was going through, and it still thought it was never going to get it, but that was a subtle way of getting it. So it was waiting as I dragged it to satsang over and over again. And then it got clued in finally. Hey, I'm not going to get anything. And so basically, all these talks I've ever shown up for have been like void because the head has no interest at all in what's going on. It's almost like a mini blackout, and it just waits for this to be over to start the narration again, and just has these giant blackout potholes on its road. Yeah. That was years in the making, though. It was. There was a subtle hope in there that I was still going to get something. But then it was squished, which was awesome because I had been in that pursuit for a long, long time in time, like since maybe really heavy 11 to 12. I've been trying to get freedom from that. Let the head be agitated. You're still. Yeah. Why assume the head's condition is your condition? The head is agitated. The head is sick. It's ill. Are you? No. There's a stillness. So you get sensitive about stuff too as an action figure. Why would you want to? It seems such a. It's like I never understood when kids would take apart beetles and shit. Some weird stuff. It's just whatever. Yeah. So anyone have anything they like to share after that intermission? Satsang can swallow all that up. Yeah, just Give us all the poison. It'll neutralize it. Yes, it. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Okay, so let's do the snake and the skin. Now that we spoke about it. Okay, has anyone has heard the snake and the skin? No, Bridget probably hasn't because it's a golden oldie. It just came to my head right now. So obviously, these are just ways to attempt to present something. And so this little story is about a snake. Yeah. And the skin of the snake. And the skin in the snake believes it's the snake. And then there's the snake without knowing it. It's living under the belief that it's the skin. Yes. But in fact, it's not the skin, it's the snake. Okay. So now the skin gets worried because it's coming near the time of when the skin's going to molt, and that's like an Armageddon. So now it's jacking into the snake's brain and telling the snake, stay out of the noonday sun. Yeah, get a lot of moisturizer. Watch out for that rock. Don't want to rip any more of the skin. And it's in a very, very agitated state. While all the while, the snake is going to benefit greatly when the molting happens because the skin is old and it's not shiny and it's not attracting what it wants, which is female. And it travels lighter with the new skin and everything like that. And it's very durable and it looks great. So, but to the skin, it's very, very dangerous. So the skin is convincing the snake to live as if it's the skin. Yeah. So this message isn't to the skin, it's to the snake. Yeah. When the snake sees it's not the skin, yeah, it forestalls the moisturizer, goes out in the sun, and inevitably the old skin falls off and is replaced with a new skin. It didn't have to order the new skin. It didn't have to do shit. Yeah. All it had to do is see it's not the skin. Yeah. Even though there is skin and there will be skin and the skin will molt, it is not the skin. It is the snake. Yeah. A simple emphasis on what wasn't being emphasized. That's why there needs to be a shift in emphasis. That's why the message is non-duality. Yeah. We have to see that we're not the dualistic movement that's called us. Yeah. And by seeing that, there'll be a shift in emphasis, and you will live seemingly appearing just as you are now, but you will live in a lighter manner. So whatever life has in store for you, molting, shedding, whatever, you'll travel lighter through it. Yes. Yeah. What more do you want? Literally. Yeah. What more do you want? If you believe that you're a you, there wasn't even a you when supposedly you were born. It took a while for the head to develop, the brain, to picture you and things as other. And then by seeing something was other than you, you were given name and form, and there you went. And the brain's had a field day ever since. Yes, writing up a narrative with, and there's no proofreading. There's no proofreading in it all. When it comes to a huge obvious impasse, it just denies that and keeps on going. Yeah. But don't you feel more like a verb than a noun? We used to always use the thing about the river, and you go to the river and you get a glass of the Colorado River, you bring it home, and you think you have the river, but you miss the most important essence, which is the rivering. Yeah. Yes. So, like it says in the Bible and AA, really, faith without works. I said mostly AA, but that's the Bible in a sense. So faith without works. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. So anything? All right. Bridget.
Mike Clark has his hand up.
Mike Clark and then Bridget. Okay.
Let's see.
Let's go, Mike. My
Where'd my
fall
clerk go?
initiatory.
I have everybody on mute on lockdown because of the recent events, so I'll have to unmute you. So just give me a patience.
Okay.
You're on, Mike. I can hear you.
Okay. Is that good?
Yes.
I was just thinking about this skin. And when I started meditating back when I was 19, in that analogy, I sort of assumed that the skin was being a meditator. I saw myself as a meditator. And it was supposed to be a 7-year plan
Oh, yeah.
to enlightenment, right?
Wow.
So about 30 years into my 7-year plan, I went, hey, I think I might need a Hail Mary here. I must be kind of lagging behind the group or something, So the Course in Miracles came along. I saw this book on a shelf I'd seen at bookstores for years, and I thought, God, somebody must be reading this thing. I mean, see what this is all about. And I tried to read it on my own, and I didn't have any luck. But anyway, I started studying that in a group, weekly group thing. So I got my Hail Mary, and I also had the meditation still going on. And I thought, I got this thing wired, man. Between the two of these, it's got to work. And and then I read a couple of things that kind of made me wonder, and people told me a couple of things that kind of made me wonder. And then you showed up, and that got whacked, and I was like, I really started wondering. But it was amazing how easily that slipped away. It wasn't like I had to do a goddamn thing. I didn't have to go, oh, I'm gonna take my attention from this and took it better somewhere else. It's like I'm doing my taxes and music comes on. It's like I don't have to say, oh, I'm going to stop doing my taxes and go listen to the music. It just happened automatically. My interest just switched. And to me, that this whole satsang thing, it took me over a year after we started this satsang to stop meditating. And that was only on an experimental basis. I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do after 55 years? What kind of effect is that going to have? And it turned out to be nothing but good. I mean, it was, I've never felt better. So I guess I'm doing a little testimonial for satsang. I guess I'm not even sure what this is about, thank the Lord for the complete lack of effort in that whole process for the first time ever that I can remember. And to me, that's what a relief. And I haven't ever been tempted to pick up. It's like laying down this burden that I'd never have any inclination to pick up again. It's just gone.
Yes, great. Well, like in Zen, they say you can't use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. What does that tell you? Yeah. You can't use the doing to get to the being. That would be doing. It's just that simple. It's not like it's sort of like 1 and 1 is 2. It's not 3. Yeah. It's not a big, it's not like a, German Shepherd confusing equation. It's just that, yeah, if, a hammer sees everything as a nail. Yeah. So the body view is of a body, like it says in the Course of Miracles. The brain is a part of the body of which the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. Yeah. So the brain is working for the other side, so to speak, as it's giving you advice. It's not on your team, so to speak. Yeah. It's meant to support the view of self-centeredness. Yeah.
Okay.
It takes in light, but when it takes that light and forms it into the picture, there's a prejudice in there. There's a bias in there.
Yeah. And there's a belief that for my whole life I had this belief in something that the one thing that couldn't deliver.
Yes, because in a sense, the aperture was dialed into a myopic view. It wasn't going to so every time you try to uh, present it a panoramic view, it saw that myopically. Yes. So in spirituality, a lot of the sayings are huge, panoramic, unbelievable. And yet it gets interpreted in a myopic way. Yeah. That's the point. That's what's to learn, really. Yeah, because we're swimming against a current or something. We're swimming against the flow. Yeah. And the the it's not an error, but the way it works, right when you're gonna see it, there's like a hiccup. You just keep missing it. Yeah. You got to the point and then you just a hiccup and you're back on the horse again, riding it. That's why satsang presented in a repetitive manner has some oomph in time. Because time, you can forget the unforgettable. You can. In time, your head can forget the unforgettable. It can. It's very good at it. Yeah. If 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 it was something, it would have more difficulty, but with everything, everything it does great. Yeah. Like the fish in the water, because it's completely encased in water, it probably has no sense of the water. Yeah. Because it's completely the same thing when you used to walk into a school room and they had one wall was all chalkboard. And if you walked in there, you'd see this black void. And then one day you walk in there and there's one little dot of chalk and your attention just goes right to that one dot on the black void. You just go immediately to the one little speck. You didn't do that. That's the reaction to the camera, to light. The action of the mental state is to go into a thing and miss the whole space of it. Yes. That's why in Japanese art, that's what they're attempting to do. They have a very sparse painting, so you get a sense of the space in between the leaves and stuff. Yeah, they're playing with mind, and they had thousands of years they've been playing with it to try to, yeah, because they've noticed how it works, the head. Yeah. So their art is really a lot of emptiness. The same thing with some great music. Great music, a lot of them they have the music and they use pause as music. Yeah. So they build up to something and you don't know if they're going to start again. There's a big pause and then they start up or not. Yeah. But the pause was it was a just as big a note as all the sound. Yeah. Yeah. This is the thing is we can be a conduit to panoramic. Yeah. There's more apertures on the lens, on the camera. But it's dialed into self-centeredness. And so with self-centeredness, don't go to that knob. Yes, there's a lot, and the self-centeredness doesn't want you to see through a panoramic, yeah, because that's a huge threat to its idea of it, yeah. So a panoramic view takes in the myopic. The myopic view does not take in the panoramic, yeah. It conceptualizes it completely myopically. But the panoramic includes the myopic. Yeah. As this camera location, that can be the case. Yes. And that's the effect on the action figure. Your lens isn't locked into that one aperture. Yeah. Because in that other aperture of myopicness, know what's the panoramic? It's you. You get to be seen as a huge fucking thing all day. Yes. It just promotes a huge amount of self-consciousness, not consciousness of things or no things, but self-conscious. Yeah. So when you're myopically boring down into something, you see much bigger. That's the whole point. The point of the head is it's got to get a reflection that it can hold to make you believe you're a thing, so to speak. Yeah. So it takes everything out here, myopics, and makes you panoramic, a hugeness. And now in AA, we have, I'm not much, but I'm all that I think about. That's exactly, that's sort of one of the results of that move. Yeah. So this is just, satsang has a way to, without you knowing it, to change the Petri dish from acidic to alkaline. It does. And the shit that thrives in an acidic situation does not thrive in a alkaline situation. Yes? And now, and the acidic cannot turn itself into alkaline. That would be acidic. But something can turn the acidic into alkaline. Yeah. And then what used to not even be noticed is going to be emphasized now. And what used to grow a lot in you, like grievance and shit, doesn't have anything, any place to take root. Yeah. This lemma with this is it's not like there's whatever, the awareness of us, and then self. The self says it's the one that's aware, you see? It doesn't want to find the panoramic. It wants to look for it from the myopic. That's what it wants. It will tell you, oh, it's going to be great, but it has very little, if almost any interest in finding the panoramic. It just wants to keep looking for it myopically. That's why spirituality can turn into a form of addiction. It's completely, yeah, same. It's the head is agitated. That agitation, given time, becomes a demand for relief. And the demand, because of the cause is misunderstood, right? The relief is going to be misunderstood. So I drank alcohol to be free of alcoholism. You know, alcoholism was growing and I was agitated, felt very low self-esteem, but had all this stuff. And when I drank, I got a little relief from that, only to set me up for whatever was going to come. Yeah, like the devil, the bargain with the devil, so to speak. Yeah, because misunderstanding begets more misunderstanding. And what needs to be understood is what we are and what we're not. That's what needs to be understood. Because if that's confusing, there's going to be a piling on confusion. Yes? Yes. And therefore, you're going to have, the only thing you're going to have is a narrative of why this and why that and da. Yeah. Or it'll have you, really. So, yes, yeah. Hmm.
And who would have thought? I mean, I never would have thought that hearing the same thing, the same exact thing, in a different way every time, granted, but the same message. Who would have thought that hearing exactly the same goddamn message every time is the key? I mean, for me, I'm just saying.
Yes.
But when you think about it, my mind has been so active my whole life that if it detected the slightest little change, if you were saying something that was 20 degrees off of what I hear from you all the time, not from you, but from
Yes.
wherever it's coming from, my mind would go, boom, what is this? And it's back in action. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
For me, the relentless monotony of the whole thing, uh, nothing personal, is perfect. I mean, that's what shows me that it's working. I don't have to understand one more thing in my life. I don't have to learn anything new. I don't have to understand any new concept. I don't have to believe anything different because the message is the same always. And I'm so grateful, really.
Yes, greatly put. Yes. Yes. My career was over 20 something years ago.
Now you're resting on your
I
laurels a
had
little
great
bit.
hopes. I had great hopes. But I'm telling you, it's like to be a guest player in the album of Love Supreme by Coltrane's pretty good. I would go for that than writing 800 different lousy songs. All right, I gotta let the cat in. The cat loves when I have to speak in the bedroom because the kids are here, because I become the doorman for the cat. The cat wants to go in and out. When it's out, it's looking in, and when it's in, it's looking out. Same. It's just insane. I don't know if it's like the revenge of the cat. I don't know, something, something strange. Yeah. All right. We have Bridget. Thank you, Mike. That was very nice. Come on in, Bridget.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, yes, you're.
Good to see everyone. You are playing in the Love Supreme. You are playing in that, Paul.
Yes.
You are a player in that song, in that album. Only it's the biggest Love Supreme album of all time.
Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Aw. Who's that?
That's the cat.
What's the cat's name?
Fatso.
What is it?
Fatso.
Fatso?
It's not
Cute.
fat though.
Oh, that's cute. Um, a little while ago, you were talking about people that had um, had a glimpse, and then they, you know, were like, "No way, I'm not interested in this." Can it be unstabilizing or um, like visually? And did you experience that, or um,
Unstabilizing.
yeah,
Yeah, sure, because you've been standing on a false floor, FL. Of
right.
course, it's
Yeah.
going to be unstable.
Yeah, I had a glimpse a couple of years ago. It was really powerful. And I guess I went into this dark night of the soul for many days. And that's all I kept saying was like, there's no floor to stand on, there's no ground to stand on. It just felt like, yeah, everything was just ripped out from under me. So um I think that's like one of the big fears that I could probably that I might have unconsciously, that
But you don't have that fear. It's just a fear of the system. You don't have that fear.
yeah.
You don't. How could you have a fear of what you are?
Right. Right.
It's
Yeah.
what you're not who has that fear.
Yeah.
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 What you're going back to, you never left. This is a period. This is like these 80 years could be 70 years. However, they've been drawn out by a subjective experience that it's absolutely nothing. Nothing probably
Right.
happened, literally. Yeah. It gets teased out by the head. It made time to do that, to take this thing out and try to give it as much length as it can and slow roll it so you can have this story. But when the book is closed, all the pages are empty. There's nothing there, I feel. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't think we fear what we are. I believe our head fears what we are for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, here, the head's got a pretty loud voice. So you can't it may go out kicking and screaming in the last moment, and you may be still. Yeah, and everyone will say Paul was kicking and screaming, but Paul wasn't at all, really.
Mm,
Who
mm,
knows what goes on? But I
mhm,
do feel like, because I was out, many times. I got run over by a car. I was in a coma for a while. And I swear, when I came back, I did not come back with anything from there.
mm,
Absolutely nothing. I had a different view of time when I came back. I did that, but I did not bring anything back. I just don't believe there is no here there. This here is not there.
mm,
It's just like the course would talk about it. It's like the mind of God just entertained this insane idea, corrected it instantaneously, but there's this weird loop that escaped, and where that loop going? Yes. It's so not happening. It doesn't have to be corrected, supposedly, by my. If you read the course, they talk about it. I don't
mm,
remember what point, but they see this as uh, a loop of time and space that was made up. He just entertained for a second, and somehow it was redrawn, but a little loop got loose, and we're in that loop. We're not, but we're looping, so to speak. But I feel when the looping's over, it will be like it never happened, because it never did, literally. Yeah.
mhm.
You know how many billions of people seemingly have come and gone from here? You know how hard it is to even keep a memory of someone who you knew that has passed? Can you imagine all the millions you haven't known? Yeah. Just some people have it when they're alive. They've objectified other people and they don't give a shit about them at all. Yet they're super sensitive, they say, but they're not sensitive. They're obsessed with self. They're not sensitive, or they would treat others like they want to be treated, you would think. Yeah. I mean, I know what it's like to be out in the streets, have nowhere to go, where looking for a refrigerator box in an alley is the pursuit of the day. Yeah. To get somewhere where you could get out and lay down.
Mm.
Yeah. And then the same anxiety that someone like that has, other people have buying their fourth house. Yeah. Because it's all imaginary. Yeah. People, there was the instinct to have shelter, which is a need, and yet the reaction, it's been turned into wants, and you react uh, in to the idea of not getting what you want as if you're never going to get what you need. It's insane. The head, it has drawn up its own mountain ranges. Yeah, and yeah, just and in it, there's no relief as it. There really isn't, and it doesn't seem to get it that it's every time it eats more, it feels more empty. But it just keeps throwing shit down there. So I don't think you're going to get a real strong relief as it. I think the relief is from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you lose interest in it, and you lose interest in its fear. I'm sure it's super afraid because it knows it's not so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the course would talk about what we are, and it would say your attack thoughts are attacking your invulnerability. Yeah. Does
Mm.
the head think it's invulnerable? No, it doesn't, because it isn't. Yeah. So attack thoughts have effect because we feel like we're open to attack constantly. People are so jacked out by building their whole life on a faulty foundation. Shit. Yes. Yeah. So here, yeah.
There's
I
nothing to do. It's weird because, as a spiritual seeker, there's always something to do. And now I find myself like, what,
yeah,
going for
pick up
walks.
a hobby. Shit. You'll
Yeah,
take
yeah, I have.
and,
I do art. Yeah, I do art and but it's just there's a voice in my mind that's like, "Oh, you're not doing enough." And, I just take a deep breath and feel my body and, you know, feel the air on my skin and
well, that's true in a
breathe
way.
into the
You're never
first.
going to be able to do enough.
Right.
You're never.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So yes, it's true in a sense. You're never going to do enough. That doesn't mean that, okay, that, all right, my reaction to that is to do more. Well, no.
Right.
Yeah. The thing I'll tell you that when I do that story about Australia at that retreat thing, when
Yeah.
with cathartic events, it has a lot in there, which is when I went through that whack and I was super like I can never get back, like I had left the Godhead and I thought about it as every possible way I could think about it, but I was missing the fact, which is I had never left.
Right.
It was completely bereft of that fact. All the yearning and crying, yeah, it it escaped the most obvious fact. The reason why I'm never going to get it is because I never left. That's that's the explanation of everything that's happening here. It truly is. Yes, it's it just matters how much time and space you can endure in that condition, with the hopes that somehow something's gonna it's gonna work. Did you see this thing with people? Because in YouTube I get a lot of stuff about people believe there was. I hope not touching. Yeah, I'm going to go with it anyway. This idea of the rapture. There was a large group, a large like sub thing going on that they believed in this certain Jewish holiday just 2 weeks ago, September or something, that there was going to be the rapture, that
Yeah.
like they were going to be taken up to meet Jesus personally. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they did the thing, they sold their cars and their houses and everything. And obviously it didn't happen. Yeah. And immediately that could have been an incredible pivot point. But what the head does is goes, well, it's going to happen in October or some other freaking thing and start the whole thing over again with the hopes that if I believe it's maybe I'm going to be lucky one of the times it is going to be the rapture. But the there was no person I was seeing when or these people were talking about it. It was the mind, the mental programming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it can take, how far it can go, and how much denial will result. Yes. And then just back to and the people will probably sign up to the same freaking blogs. It's just, it's insane. It is. It's an insane thing. Uh, I saw this once with a group. I didn't take it seriously, but they were. It was a Course in Miracles group. And I went to this event and it was called 999. So it was 2000. It was September 1999, something like that. Yeah, 26 years ago. And these people, there wasn't a large group, but they had people from Australia and around the world, and all these people had gathered for this event 999. Now, a lot of these people had been living on their credit cards, expecting that there wasn't going to be a 910 Yeah. So they were hundreds of $1,000s worth in debt. So I get there 999 and I'm still there when 910 shows up. And they had a rude awakening. Yes. So, but somehow I wasn't invested. I thought it was a joke, but a lot of those people were very invested. I don't know how it got cooked up, but it was going to be the end of the world, whatever. Yeah. So they assumed I'm just going to live on credit for the year and haha. No. And then bammo, life smacked them. So the head doesn't learn usually. The learning comes up the osmosis up the ass, so to speak. It finally it doesn't it's a very slow learner. It has to really yeah. So I love when the head, it's it's the micro and the macro. So you can see a lot about the head in the world and vice versa. Yeah, you can see a lot of the world in the head. Yeah. Yeah. So uh there is relief, but it's not for you. It's from you. There's a huge amount of relief, and it's going to be the most constant relief without any effort you'll probably ever meet. Yeah. Now, there may be a lot of shenanigans above it, but where it counts in the before, all's well and good. Yes. All the shenanigans and the yelling and the screaming. Dramas are not tattoos. Yeah, they get washed off like everything else. So all this stuff and I did this, therefore that disqualifies me from the depth. No, it doesn't. The depth that doesn't any surface agitation is not communicating to the depth. The depth is there not knowing any of this shit's probably going on. Yeah, so it's funny, the head never thought it would get so old. I get surprised when I see the square with the caricature of Paul Hedderman, the action figure. It's wow. It's the old man in the sea,
Mm.
little beat up and shit. No. So yeah. I'm happy that you came, Bridget, and everyone here, Shiva and everyone. And if spirituality gets to be a chore, take a break. Yes. Yeah. Please. There's no punishment. That's all the head. You're not going to get. Yeah. All right. Anyone else?
No, we have no hands up, Paul.
Fantastic. I'm so happy you showed everyone. I really appreciate it. Uh, hmm. You know, you may see yourself as the water, but it's still great to take a bath. Yeah. You just come into satsang.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Michael, thank you so much. And thanks for dealing with, yeah. Mike Clark, a very nice share. Yes. Kathleen, as always. Thanks for starting the motor, Kathleen. Yeah. David Lowe, always a pleasure, David. Yes, yes. Stephen Mack on having never left. Kerry, that's a big difference between Minneapolis and fucking Hawaii right now, eh? Look at how beautiful it is. Ernie, yes. Ernie has the gift that keeps on giving, a little willingness. Shiva, our man in LA. Nice to see you, Shiva. Diona, take it easy. It's like a lullaby. I think she's asleep. Fantastic.
Mm.
You know, when I was first doing this, a lot of people would call me up and they said, "Man, you put me to sleep. I have what you call it? I can't sleep." I said, "Well, I didn't think that was one of the targets, but whatever." Oh, the insomnia. So they said, "Yeah, I put you on, I fall asleep immediately." When you're being used, you have no say in how you're going to be used. Yeah. Alan Olson, my man, he's come to the day of reckoning on having that, he's never going to get it. Fantastic. Dennis, Elisa, Pennsylvania, Taylor, Susan Harris, Travis, Eric in SoCal. Yeah, Eric, we're going to be there in January 8th to the 11th. Joshua Tree. Yes, so just to let you know. Yeah, everyone, we're going to do a little thing in Joshua Tree again this year. And we've rented a house already and we're going to get another one, I think. And if you're interested, there'll be I think it's up on the website, or there will be, where Amelia will have a Facebook room or something, whatever. I don't know how, but it's early now, but we're going to have it. So, and everyone's welcome. Yeah. Annette, always a pleasure, honey. You're inside. I think that's it. I'm missing a lot of people. I can't get to the other page. Well, listen, David Bitterman, I see him now. Christopher Fegan, I think I got that. Robert Crossman. Wow, yeah, you just appeared, all you guys. Nice to see you, Robert. Yeah, you having a good laugh, Robert? Nice. Yeah, that's good. Everyone, thank you. We'll see you soon. Tomorrow is at night. We do dinner here and do the Zoom. It's pretty nice. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Paul, thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Kathleen, everyone.
All right, unmute is back off. So
Thank you, Michael.
thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. That
Right.
rattled my
Here,
that
I'll
rattled
pause.
my nerves
Thanks,
tonight.
Michael. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, that rattled my nerves tonight.
Michael, I was trying to help you. I couldn't catch that guy. He was jumping everywhere.
I removed him 3 times.
I did too. I removed him and then he was still there. I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah, I don't know. That's some like high-tech stuff he's got going on. Like,
That was so weird.
All
Yeah.
that effort for that. That's
We
crazy.
had to move him,
Right.
had to remove him 4 times, I think.
Yeah, I did too. I removed him 3 times.
Yeah, it definitely shook the vibe a little, but you catch as catch can. That's all you can do.
Yeah, it got